Hi everyone, and in this class I want to show you how to add a print-on-demand revenue stream to your Etsy or Shopify site. I spent over 22 years growing and managing my own traditional product-based business until I left that business in 2021 to follow my dreams to become an artist and build a business that would allow me to put my creativity front and center and grow my art brand. The business side of art can be frustrating, especially if you haven't had a business before. Starting a print-on-demand business allows you to really focus on your art making while selling your designs on best-selling products and without adding a lot of extra stress and a bunch of manufacturing overhead. It really is the easiest way to get your art into the hands of customers and collectors who are excited to connect with you and your art. First, we'll go over how print-on-demand fulfillment works and its advantages and disadvantages. I'll also share with you why I chose to use Printify as my first print-on-demand partner. Then we'll go step by step through opening your Printify account and show you exactly how orders are placed and fulfilled. We'll talk about what type of art works best for different types of products, and I'll help you prepare the art so that you can get the very best results. We will go step by step through creating 4 of the most popular types of products, including t-shirts, mugs, kitchen towels, and stickers or magnets. You'll learn about the importance of mockups and how to go beyond the basic Printify mockups. And I'll show you how to add your art to the mockups in a believable way so that your designs will really stand out and get you noticed. Once you have your products designed and your beautiful mockups created, we will connect your Printify account and publish your products to your Etsy or Shopify site. By the end of this class, you'll know not only how print-on-demand fulfillment works and how to best prepare your art, but also how to open your Printify account and connect it to your Shopify or Etsy store. My goal is to enable you to get your beautiful products out into the world without stressing about the technical aspects or investing a ton of time and money. All I recommend you to have as you watch this class is a notebook and something to write with, so you can capture the steps that you'll take to start your print-on-demand journey. So grab your notebook and a pen and something to drink, and let's get started. So in this first lesson, in case you're new to print-on-demand, I'd just like to quickly touch on how print-on-demand works, some of the advantages and disadvantages, and why I chose Printify. Okay, so here's a very simple diagram on how print-on-demand works in general. So first you're going to select a print-on-demand partner. It could be Printify, like I use, or it could be Printful or Society6 or Redbubble. And you're going to design a unique product from their catalog, and then you're going to apply your artwork that fits your brand to that product. And then you're going to post it somewhere online. If it's Redbubble or Society6, you're going to be posting it on their platform. If it's Printful or Printify, then you are going to either use it on your Etsy shop or even on your own website like a Shopify site. Then a customer is going to be shopping online and they're going to find your product. They're going to place an order through whatever online store or platform that you're using. And then that print-on-demand printing partner will produce and ship the items, and then they'll charge you for the cost to make those items. So your profit will be the difference between what you're charging and what your print-on-demand partner is charging you to produce those items. So the print-on-demand model has a lot of advantages over the traditional way to have a product-based business. And I have them listed here, a few of them anyway. First of all, it requires a minimum investment. Super easy to get started with very little money. You can easily grow and scale your business without adding a lot of people or space because you don't have any inventory, you don't need a warehouse. And what I love is you can manage these businesses from basically anywhere in the world. Along with the advantages come some disadvantages. And one of the disadvantages is that you really don't have end-to-end control over your customer experience. And branding opportunities may be limited. And also it can be hard to get traction on those larger sites and get noticed because there just is so much competition. But overall, the advantages far outweigh the disadvantages, in my opinion, especially when you're comparing using print on demand to get your artwork out into the world versus investing in a warehouse and inventory and a lot of money and people to pack and ship and things like that. So it's definitely a great way to get started. So why did I choose Printify? Well, the main reason why I like Printify is that it's actually not one provider. It's a network of providers that are providing this print-on-demand service. They're located all over the world so that you are able to choose a provider that is possibly closer to you so that you can save on shipping costs, and then you can pass those on to your customer, which is amazing. I like Printify because it interfaces really easily with Shopify and Etsy, and we're going to be going over that later in the course here. They have a really large selection of really wonderful items, over 750 products, and they're always adding more. I found the quality to be really high. High quality equals happy customers, right? We want to be offering top of the line products that we're proud to offer. And also, I found that Printify seems to have better prices overall than a lot of the providers. So that results in higher profits, which who doesn't like that? And now that you know a little bit more about Printify, let's get your account opened. Okay, so in this video, we are going to create your Printify account. It's really easy to do. Here we are on the Printify homepage at printify.com. Just going to click this green sign up button here. And it'll take you to the account creation page. You have a choice. You can either click continue with Google, or you can enter an email and a password. So this is basically a one click. I'm going to click continue with Google. And so this will take you to some marketing questions, and just answer them as best you can. None of the answers to these questions will affect the way your Printify account functions. So let's go through these. What describes you best? I'm going to say I have my own e-commerce store. What is my main objective? Order merchandise, grow my current business, start my first online business, or order products for myself. I'm going to click grow my current business. What brings you to Printify? Let's see. Let's just say product selection. And we're just going to pretend we're beginning here. What are your current monthly sales? How do you currently fulfill your custom printed products and merchandise? Let's say I'm just getting started. How did you find out? Let's see, Google search. So our Printify account is created, and here's a little page that shows you where you can go from here. You can order samples, which is nice. You could connect your store to Printify, or you can even start designing your first custom product. So what I like to do first is to get your store connected and make sure everything is functioning properly. So join me in the next video, and I'll show you how to connect your Printify account to either your Etsy or your Shopify site. So now in this video, we are going to help you connect your store, either Etsy or Shopify, to your Printify account. So we're going to click this button here. And here's my new store. You can see there is nothing connected yet. We're just going to click the green connect button. And you can see there are quite a few options for connecting. You can do Shopify, Etsy, now I have Walmart, Squarespace, eBay, Wix, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, PrestaShop, and API down here is if you're going to have like a computer, like a developer, actually do something custom for you. So definitely not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to concentrate on these top two ones. We have Shopify or Etsy. So let's do Etsy first. I'm going to click on this connect button here. And it's going to prompt me to sign in to my Etsy shop. So you're just going to put in your email address and your password. And here it's just verifying. It's saying anytime you connect an app to Etsy, you're going to get this. And it just says an application would like to connect to your account, and you're currently signed in here. And you want to verify that that's the store that you want to connect. And then it's just saying Printify wants to connect, and it's going to be able to connect to your account, read your email address and your listings and things like that, all the things that it needs to do to interface with Etsy. So if that's all okay with you, you need to grant access, which is down here at the bottom. So I'm just going to click grant access. And we have success, and it's just that easy. So now that store is connected. It says here, check out this article on how to start selling. Printify has a lot of good resources that you can check out that will allow you to go even deeper. We're going to help you go step by step through adjusting your account settings and everything. So the other thing I wanted to mention is that another nice thing about Printify is that you can connect multiple Etsy stores. So if you're a seller who likes to have only like one type, maybe have a mug shop and a t-shirt shop or something for your art or your stationery, and you have those all separate, you can connect each one of those stores and have a just one hub in one Printify account that kind of keeps them all together, which is really nice. So that's how you connect an Etsy store. Next, we're going to go and connect a Shopify site. So here we are at the My Account screen. And in order to connect another store, I'm going to click on this little green person icon. And I'm going to go down to My Stores. And again, you can see here Etsy is connected. And I'm going to click here to add new store. And we're going to select Shopify. And here is where you will put in your actual URL, and you don't need the HTTP. You just, you can see in the example. And so mine is, I'm actually connecting a store from one of my other companies. And then we hit connect. And it'll ask you to log into your Shopify store. And very similar to what we saw in Etsy, it's going to ask permission for the two apps to connect to each other. And it just tells you, what it can access. It's going to be able to edit orders, products, etc. So I'm going to install the app into Shopify. Okay, so we've installed the Printify app into Shopify. As you can see here, apps and Printify print on demand is located here. I'm going to click on this open full site, and that will take us back to our Printify main page. So if I click on my store, I can see that I have no products created yet. And if you click on this arrow up here, you can see that my Etsy store is connected and my Shopify store is also connected. So now that you have your stores connected, in the next video, I'm going to walk you through how to manage your account settings in Printify so that Printify operates as you expect it to. Okay, so now we've opened your Printify account and connected it to your Etsy or Shopify store. In this video, we have just a few more things to set up before we can get to the really fun part of creating your products. So here we are back in Printify, and what I'm going to do is walk you step by step through these setup options so that you can make sure that Printify is functioning the way that you intend it to. So if we go up here by this drop-down menu in the upper right corner, you can see I have my two demo accounts set up and connected. So we're going to click Manage My Stores, and we're going to, these are the settings over here, and also here are the store settings. So we're going to go into the Etsy store and click this little cog for settings. and we're going to add the store name, save. And then it takes us back to this welcome on board site. So I'm just going to go back where we were before, get back in here. So this is set. And then we're going to go over here to this left menu and we can edit our ship from address. And you have a couple choices here. You can either use the Printify default, and in the case that a customer maybe refuses a package or it is returned, the return address will be where, if you choose the Printify default, the return address will be where the product was printed. You can also choose to use a custom address here where any returns could come right back to you. And some people want to do that. Even if it's a custom item, you might want to have to address, maybe contact the customer and see why they refuse the package. Or you can also, in the event that they don't want it for some reason, you could also use those items for, to take pictures of or as samples or things like that. You may even, if it's not personalized, you may even be able to resell it. So some people want those packages to come back to you. Something to keep in mind is that this address will also be visible to the customer. So if you don't want people seeing maybe your home address, if you don't have a business address that the packages can come back to, you might want to just use the Printify default. Okay. And then we also have addresses for Great Britain and also Germany. So I'm going to hit save. And then we go to the preferences. And we're going to go through all of these preferences. These are very important in having your Printify site function the way you're expecting it to. So here's order routing. Order routing automatically will send your order to an alternate print provider when the original is unavailable. And one of the benefits, as I had said before, is that Printify is a network of print providers. So if you're selling things like a t-shirt or a mug where there are several print providers, especially in apparel, they can automatically find another provider if the provider that you've chosen is out of stock. So if you do that, you can click here and enable order routing. And that way it will they'll automatically pick someone for you. So if you enable order routing, you also are going to click this little setup pop down. The providers can choose how much they're going to charge you. So we'll see a range of costs for the exact same items. So you're going to want to set a minimum or maximum rather additional cost per item that you're willing to spend to substitute and have another print provider fulfill your items. So you want to make sure that you know how much you're willing to go up and so that you are still making a profit. Also, you can choose to only do exact product matches, because if you read the fine print up here at the top, if no substitution is available for an exact match, they'll find the closest match unless you have this checked. So if you're going to do automatic routing, I would suggest that you do, it's up to you, but if you want to make sure to have the exact same quality of t-shirt, say, you can check this and they'll only substitute that same item. Okay. I personally don't like to do automatic order routing. I like to have those items come in and then allow me to make the decision on how that is going to be that out of stock is going to be handled. Then we come to order approval. You have several choices here. If you're doing a lot of personalizing and things like that, you may have manual checked. And that's where you'll see each thing come in. You can go over all the details and manually send each item into production. If you have a flood of orders coming in, that might not be practical. But I think for most of us, manual setting will work just fine. Another Other options are automatically within 1 hour or automatically within 24 hours. If you're finding that you're getting people canceling, a lot of people canceling, which I don't think happens very often, you may want to have that order wait for 24 hours just in case the customer is changing their mind. Another option, which I like, is automatically at a certain time every day. The reason this one is beneficial is that it results in just a single charge to your credit card per day. Otherwise, Printify will charge you the cost of each item as they come in or as the orders are released. And if you're getting a lot of charges on your credit card throughout the day, a lot of times that kind of makes the credit card companies a little bristly, and they might flag some of those as a fraud. So there's another way you can avoid that, and we'll be going over that in a little while. But another way, and to keep your accounting really simple and simplified, is to check this, and you'll just get one charge a day. All your orders will go through at the same time. And you can pick the time here. Next, we're going to look at order view settings. And this is going to determine what you're going to see on your orders page. So you can show all the orders, which would be if you're connected to your Etsy store and you're manually fulfilling things that you're creating by hand, you would see those orders as well. Also, if you're using another POD print provider, maybe you're using Printful for some things, and those are coming through on your Etsy store, you would also see those. Or you can only show those orders that are fulfilled just by Printify and not anything else. The reason you might want to show all orders is in the event that one of your print providers, say you're using Printful and they're out, then you can easily transfer that order, edit it, and have it fulfilled by another provider. Tracking notification settings only refer to manual and sample orders. So manual orders are orders that aren't coming through any of your stores, or sample orders that you place directly. So this is tracking just for you. You can choose as soon as it's available or at a certain time of day, or if you don't need tracking emails for those things, you can check that as well. So those do not apply to the orders that are being placed, say, through Etsy, because Etsy takes care of those and sends the tracking directly to the customer automatically. Next, we have automatically send delayed orders to production. So this is in the event where there may be some kind of shipping restrictions, maybe into another country, things like that. Some of this, I think, is maybe left over from the pandemic. So you can choose if there's some kind of reason that an order can't be delivered, you can it'll notify you, and then you can click, if you have send orders to production manually, you can assess that and see how you want to handle it. Here it says you can manually send orders affected by shipping delays to production on your order details page. The alternative is to send orders to production automatically, and then that means that there may be a shipping delay, but they're going to release the order to production anyway, and it'll just sit there until the delay has been resolved. Personally, I like to have a little more control over these things. So if there is an event of any kind of delay or order delay, I would prefer to have them notify me and have the ability to send the orders to production manually. And here you can check whether you want to receive order status emails, and they'll send them daily with what's happening with your account. I kind of like to be notified. You want to click save to save those. That's the store setup there. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back into managing stores, and then we're going to look at over here at these global Printify settings, and let's fill in the rest of the items here. So click on your account. I'm going to enter the name of your business. You're going to want to fill in your contact details, your phone number, your address. This will be what appears on your invoices and whatnot. The My Files section is where you would see any of the assets that you've uploaded. I personally upload my design files as I design them, and I'll show you how to do that in an upcoming lesson. If, for example, you may want to use this to like do some bulk uploading. So maybe you design a bunch of t-shirts for the holidays, t-shirt designs for the holidays, and you have them all ready at the same time and you just want to bulk upload. This is a great place to do it. Now the payments tab is very important, of course. So let's go through this. So every time an order is placed or sent to production, you're going to be charged for the cost of that item. So this first part here, this current balance, you have the ability to top up your balance with PayPal. And so you can connect your credit card to a PayPal account and then put your PayPal information and top up your balance. And when you top up your balance, then, so if you keep a balance of say $100 or $500 in here, then when those orders come through, they will just come off of that balance and your card won't be charged for every order, which the credit card companies actually prefer. And then you're going to set up a credit card here, credit or debit card, in case this balance falls below and they need to charge your card for production costs. So it's kind of nice to keep a running balance in here if you want to avoid those hits to your credit card all day long. Printify offers a service called Printify Premium, which is a subscription-based service. I'm going to talk a little more about this in a bonus lesson, but here is where you can upgrade and subscribe to that service. There's a lot of benefits in doing that if you're at the right place, and we'll talk about that in that bonus lesson. And coupons, if you have any coupons here, you can add them. Okay. And if we go across the payments tabs, here's where all your transactions would appear. You can see all your invoices, your individual order invoices here, and of course, any withdrawals that you've made. Okay. Let's move on to the taxes tab. So valid resale certificates then can qualify you for a sales tax exemption on orders made through Printify. And you can read more on what resale certificates are and how to submit them. They're reviewed within a week and they'll inform you if there's any changes, and then you would submit it here. Went through my stores. Let's click settings. These are just global settings, and you can choose between metric or the imperial system. You can choose your time zone. Okay, I'm in the central time zone, and then email notifications. You can check if you want product launch announcements, etc. Invoice frequency and format upon payment or monthly, depending on how you want your accounting to be grouped. Login details, and then delete my data. You have the right to access information we hold about you and the right to be forgotten by us. So if for any reason you want your data to be deleted, if you're done with Printify, you go there. And lastly, we have connections. This is API tokens. If you have a web developer or some kind of programmer who is working on a custom solution for you, this is the only time you would need this. So if you're selling through Etsy, for sure you don't need it, and if even with Shopify, you probably won't need it either. So that's it. We're all set up. Okay, now that you have all your Printify settings just the way you want them, you're ready to start creating your products. So meet me in the next video and we'll talk about the best practices for creating your artwork. In this video, we're going to talk about how to prepare your artwork and take some things into consideration that are specific to either Printify or the digital printing processes that they use so that you can avoid any unwanted surprises. Printify put out this great article, Top 5 Tips for POD Success, and I just wanted to touch on a few things that really stood out to me and were most important, that I found most important. The first is, of course, you need to use high quality designs. And what that really boils down to is resolution. Poor or low resolution is not going to produce the quality of print that you're looking for. So each of the items that you create, each of the types of products that you create, will give you the maximum print size that can be applied to that item. So what I would suggest is that you create your file at least that big, if not bigger, at 300 DPI, and then you should be good across all your products. In fact, what I like to do is I consider what products am I designing for, and I design for the largest product, which for me is going to be t-shirt. I design the file at t-shirt size and at 300 DPI. That way I can shrink it down if necessary, and I'll still have a really nice high resolution for whatever product that I want to put it on. And then Printify suggests that you consider backgrounds when you're creating your artwork. So right here they say for direct-to-garment products, they recommend using transparent backgrounds. That's like t-shirts, sweatshirts, things like that. And for the all-over print products, they suggest it's a good idea to have a solid white background, and that's because those items are solid white to begin with. Lastly, you want to avoid any kind of small details, and here they suggest the artwork in your art should be no smaller than 3 pixels. So these little tiny details, if they're smaller than 3 pixels, they may not show up. Okay. Next, you want to consider the color space that you're designing in and the print colors that are going to show up in your designs. And Printify uses the RGB color space. However, they caution us that the color range that you're going to see in your products is much more limited than what you're going to see on your computer screen. And this mainly affects if you're an artist who uses a lot of vibrant colors, and vibrancy is really a central part of your design. That could affect that could affect your results. And they give a really nice illustration here in this document. And on the left here, you can see very bright, kind of almost fluorescent colors is what you're going to see on the computer screen. And when it's actually printed to the garment, it's going to be a little bit dulled down and more muted. And a part of that is because the inks are actually soaking into the garment. Now, they also give some guidelines, like if you want to have a better idea or maybe kind of do a preview of what your artwork might look like, you could convert it to the CMYK color space, which has a more limited palette range. You can do that in like Illustrator or Photoshop, just to give you kind of a guideline of what your artwork might look like if you're concerned that this could affect you. Next, we're going to talk about transparency and gradients. If you use this type of shading in your artwork, Printify is pretty clear on this. They say, please avoid gradients going all the way to transparency in your designs when you're designing for direct to garment. So that's your apparel designs. So something like this that goes all the way to transparency won't be possible in direct to garment. And part of the reason for this is that in the direct to garment process, they put a base of white under the colors in order to make the colors more vibrant and pop off. So that's the next thing I wanted to talk about, this underbase that is created. And this is why the gradients don't work very well. In the direct to garment process, they do put a base of white, they spray a base of white under your design to help the colors come through to be more vibrant and to have like a really good detail. Another thing that's really important to consider and that I learned is if you have white in your design and you're going to be printing on a dark t-shirt. So this white underbase is only applied under colors that aren't white, like true white, which would be the hex code FFFFFF, if you're familiar with the hex code for white. So what I've learned to do is take my designs that would normally have a true white in them and apply a slightly off-white hex code, such as FC, FC, FC. And that way, when the computerized direct-to-garment process happens, they're going to see that this is not true white, and they're going to lay down that white underbase and then this slightly off-white on top of it, which still looks white in your design. However, you're going to get the benefit of that nice double layer, and your image, the white parts of your image will be as vibrant and have the detail that the rest of your image does. So now that you have some general guidelines around what kind of art works best for print on demand, the real fun can begin. So join me in the next lesson as we create your first design in Canva. So in order to start preparing my first design in Canva, I'm going to consider the largest file I'll need across all of the products that I want to offer. And in my case, it's going to be a t-shirt. So we're going to create a t-shirt design, and I'm going to go up here to create a design, click in there, and I'm going to do a custom size. And I know that my t-shirt file should be 4,500 pixels wide by 5,400 pixels tall. And then I hit create new design. And I'll show you where to find that information in Printify when we add our t-shirt designs into Printify. So here we are with our blank page, and I'm going to come over to the left here where it says uploads, and I'm going to upload an art file that I have created in Procreate and Photoshop. So you click uploads and then click this upload files, and it's going to ask you to find where it is. So I have to remember where I put it. I believe I put it on the desktop. Yes. Okay, so here's our sunflower leopard print, and it will upload, give you a little progress bar there. And when it's ready to upload, I'm going to add it to my design. So what I like to do is I activate the canvas by clicking once. You can see the purple line around it. And then I just click once on my art file, and it adds it right to the design there. And I'm going to center it. It's a good size, actually. And you can see that it's centered if I slide it back and forth when it hits that little purple guide there. And that is the center. So I'm going to go like that. Looks about right. And then I'm going to add some simple text to this. So the easiest way to add text is to just hit the T on your keyboard, and you'll get a nice text box here. So I'm actually going to move it up here so you can see what I'm doing. And we're going to type wild. And I'm going to change the font. And the way you do that, you highlight it and then you click this drop down here. And there are a ton of free fonts. Some of these fonts have a crown by them, which means they're free to Canva Pro users, but there's plenty of fonts here. And I'll show you in a minute where you can upload your own font if you have something that you use in your business that you want to use here. However, you can only upload fonts if you have a pro account, but I'll show you how to do that. So I am going to search for something I've used, Sensa Wild dot fill. And I'm just going to click and make this bigger and position it also in the middle. Probably make that a little bit bigger. There we go. And I'm going to add another piece that's quite large. Wild Child. And I'm going to make this a different font. This one is a retro font that I like called Bright Retro. Ooh, just like that. And you just arrange the elements where you like them so it looks good to you. I'm actually going to change the color of the text. So you highlight it, like so, and then click here for the text color. And what will happen is it'll show you what it's picking up in some of the document colors, or you can click here, which I like to do, and get the eyedropper. So if you click the eyedropper, you can take that over to your artwork and pick any of the colors in your artwork, just like that. So I'm going to pick this bright orange. Click off, and I'm going to do it for this too. And the orange is already there from before, so I'm just going to click that. And there we have it. So if you wanted to upload your own font, you can click this drop down here, and if you have the Pro account, you can come all the way to the bottom here where it says upload a font and click on that, and it will ask you to find where on your computer that's stored so that you can upload it into your Canva account. So now that we have created our art file, the t-shirts file that I want to make, we're going to export it as a PNG. So in order to do that, here's where you could name your file so that when it's downloaded you can find it. So I'm going to put Wild Child Sunflower T-shirt. Okay, then you click Share, and you're going to come down here to Download. You want to download it as a PNG. Leave the file size the same. We're going to click Transparent Background. And it does look like in order to download as a transparent background, you are going to need the Canva Pro account, which is really reasonable per month. It's, I believe I pay $10 or so a month, and with all the capabilities that this program has, it's totally worth it. So then we're going to hit Download. And there we have it. Our first art file is created for our t-shirts, and we're going to set this aside for now, and we're going to talk a little bit about mockups. As you'll see in an upcoming lesson, Printify does offer some basic standard mockups, but especially if you're going to go into apparel and print your designs on t-shirts and sweatshirts and things, I would strongly urge you to go beyond that and invest in some professionally styled mockups. I would recommend that you have at least 2 to 3 mockups for each style of apparel that you have, including one for each color and possibly a flat lay where they arrange a scene kind of on a flat surface, as well as a hanging photo is very nice as well. So let's take a look here on Etsy. And as you can see from the search bar, I've put in the word mockup and then the name of the item that we're going to be creating in Printify. So the t-shirt we're going to be creating together a little bit later is the Bella and Canvas 3001. So as you can see from the search results, there are a huge variety of people, and there's new ones being added all the time. You can get things like these flat lays, you can get lifestyles, you can get things like these on the hangers. This is very pretty. So you just need to scroll through and find a style that really speaks to you and kind of fits your brand. I've found that you could probably expect to pay at this time about $2 to $6 for individual mockups, but then you can also keep an eye out for complete store bundles like here, like the entire shop bundle. And if you like the style that the photographer or that shop is offering, a lot of times you can get a pretty good deal. It'll be like a flat fee for their entire store, and a lot of times that will include lifetime updates. So as they add new styles, as Printify, and adds new styles of things, and if they keep up with it, then you'll have access to those as well. So that can be a nice option. And lastly, to complete your listing and assist your customers in choosing the right size, you're going to want to also have a sizing chart for your apparel, and you're going to want to have obviously one for every type of apparel that you have. So you can purchase one already styled like this, or you can, if you're feeling resourceful, you could get this information off of the manufacturer's website and create one of your own. I did end up purchasing mine just to save some time. I'll include a list of my favorite Etsy mockup makers in the resources, but new ones are being added all the time, and I strongly urge you to do your own research and find ones that really speak to you and your brand. So join me in the next lesson, and I will share with you how to add your design to these mockups and then adjust those mockups for realism. Okay, so now it's time to add your artwork design to your mockups. What I like to do when I get started is create a master file of all the mockups for one given type of apparel, or at least the ones that I want to use for a given season. So let's create that in Canva now. Okay, so we're going to go up and create a new design for this master file, and we're going to do custom size. And I found the size 2048 by 1366 worked for me. Create a new design. Okay. I'm going to name it the product type that these mockups represent. So I'm going to name it BC for Bella and Canvas 3001. That's the name of the t-shirt we'll be creating shortly. And then mockups. Then you'll go to the uploads and upload your purchase mockups into Canva, just like we did with your art design. You can do a bulk upload like this if you want to choose them all. Hit open. And once they're done uploading, you're going to simply drag each design onto a new page as the background. And I'll show you how to do that. So I click here and drag. And if you drag it to the right place, it'll pop in just like that as the background. Just like that. Okay. And then you're going to do that for each of your mockups and create one giant master file. So if you click Add Page down here, and I'm going to just continue to do that for each one. So then we have a file full of mockups of the Bella and Canvas 3001 t-shirt in different colors and as a flat lay. And the next thing we'll need to do is upload that art design file that we exported earlier. Upload. Find your file. And once that's done uploading, you're going to add that design to each one of these mockup pages that you wish to use. And you're going to keep in mind, obviously, that some of your designs may not work on some of the t-shirt colors that you want to offer, and we'll just skip those. So let's add that artwork. In order to do that, I'm going to activate this. So there's a purple square around the edge, and just click once. And then we're going to position this and size it so that it looks kind of how we're going to create it in Printify. So if you need to rotate it, as you can see, this is not quite right. Well, let's size it first, actually. Click and drag. And this takes a little bit, I found, at least for me, it took a little bit of getting used to and trying to figure out how big I wanted the art in relation to the t-shirt. And I like to take it up. Once we do the design in Printify, you'll notice that we can't go like all the way up to the collar. There is a little bit of a margin there, so I like to drag it down a little bit. And then I like to look at the edges of the collar and kind of have that line up there. Okay. That looks pretty good. The next thing I like to do, and this is a pro tip, in order to make your artwork look like it's part of the t-shirt, you're going to want to reduce the transparency from 100% down to like 86 or 90%. This will help the art look less digital and more realistic. So in order to do that, we simply click this checkerboard up here where it says transparency and drag the slider down a little bit. You don't want to go too far, you don't want it to look faded, obviously. So I find somewhere in the mid 80s, a little bit brighter, 88. As you can see, that just sets it back a little bit and is kind of reflective of how the direct-to-garment printing, the ink actually kind of sinks into the t-shirt instead of like laying on the top. So now I'm just going to repeat this process for each one of the mock-ups. Obviously, the next shirt I have here is red, and I'm guessing this orange and the red is going to look pretty bad. So I can put it on there, but I probably would not choose to do that. All right, so I'm going to skip that one and go to this one. And one thing you want to be really mindful of is that you're sizing the mock-ups between mock-ups about the same. So for example, that's why I kind of like to look at the collar, like how far is this coming out from the collar? How far down is this going to go to sit there? Because you want this one to match kind of what this looks like in the sizing here. Again, transparency. There we go. And this is the last one. Put that back. Obviously, some of these mock-ups are ones that I just got for where I'm doing a set of holiday ones, so I'm not sure if a sunflower wild child would really go in that setting, but you get the idea. It's just for demonstration. So there we go. Several mock-ups. Skip the red one. After you're happy with how your mock-ups look, join me in the next video and we'll export the finished files. Okay, so before I export my designs, I like to name each page with the color, and you'll see why in just a minute. Now this isn't really a color, so I'm just going to name it flat lay. This is red. So this is the white, black, and this color is dark heather. Okay, so those are all named. Then I'm going to go up to the title here, and I'm going to append the name of my design to the title that I currently have. So it's going to look like, actually, I'm going to name it to the end. Dash Wild Child Sunflower. Whoops. And you'll see what this creates. We're going to go share. We're going to download these pages. Again, click on download. We're downloading them as PNGs. They don't need to be transparent. We're going to click on the pages and we're going to select just the pages that we wanted. So I'm going to uncheck this, all pages. And I know I want all of them except for, well, actually, the easiest way to do this. Let's click all the pages and I'm just going to uncheck red because we didn't actually do that one. And we're going to click done and download. And what this will create is a .zip file in your downloads folder, and you'll want to expand that. So if you're on a Mac, you can just double click to expand that zip file. And I believe Windows users do a right click and then hit extract all. So I'm on a Mac, so I'm just going to double click the zip file. And what you're going to end up with is a new folder with the name of the type of mockup and the art file. And if we click into this, and what you'll have is separate individual files of each of the colors. So if we click in here, we will have each of the files ready to go. At this time, you can go ahead and delete the zip file, so we don't need that anymore. So we're going to leave this folder in the downloads file for now and turn our attention back to Printify. So we're almost there, and in the next video, I'm going to show you how to create the actual products in Printify. See you there. All right, we made it. And in this lesson, we're going to create your first product in Printify. So here we are in Printify, and as you can see, we have no products created yet in this demo account. And if you mouse over the catalog tab, you can see just how many different items that they have available for you to add your artwork to. It's really amazing, and they're adding new stuff all the time. But today, let's start with creating a t-shirt. So I'm going to click here on t-shirts under women's clothing, and I'll just scroll down a little bit so you can see the variety. Lots of different makers, different neck style or necklines. There's a t-shirt dress, things like that. Crop tops, pajamas, all kinds of stuff for you to investigate. But we're going to scroll back up here and we're going to select this was one of their best-selling t-shirts, which is the Bella and Canvas 3001. So we'll click in there. And as you can see, it'll give you a little bit of detail. If you click here, it'll shoot you down to the bottom of the page where it gives more detail on like the collar, the fibers, side seams, care instructions. Here's a size guide in case you want to make your own size guide as opposed to buying one. You can get the information here. All right, so we're going to go back up to the top here. Whew, there's a lot of providers. So as we've been talking about, Printify is a network of print providers, and especially for like apparel, like this popular t-shirt, there are a bunch of them. And so you can see they have a rating scale here, and this is sorted by, how highly rated they are. And I have to check at what, how the ratings are. I believe it's has to do with price and ship time, and yeah, I'm not exactly sure all of the things, but this is their rating system. Also, you can see at a glance on this table here the location. So this one's from Canada. Here's the United States. You want to pay attention to that, of course. Here is the price. It'll state two prices: the regular price, and then down here in green, it'll say like regular price is $10.30. Or from $9 with Printify Premium. So that's that discount, that subscription discount that I referred to earlier. And if you want to look into that, you can check out the little bonus lesson on Printify Premium. You can see how much the shipping starts at, average production time. It's like only a half a business day right now for Monster Digital, or super fast. print areas. So you can see they've print on the front and the back. Up here, this one from Canada, Print Geek, only prints on the front side, so you'll want to pay attention to that. Kind of shows you at a glance how many colors they offer. If you click in here, more details, you can see, again, the colors. If you click to shipping, you'll see the detail of the shipping cost. So the first item is $4.35, and then additional items are $2.20. And you can see shipping to different parts of the world is all outlined there for you. If you click production, you get a little bit more detail on their technology, their quality control, and also packaging. That's kind of interesting. It shows you an example of how the product is going to come packaged. So let's go back to product variants, and I just wanted to speak to this real quick. I've kind of gone to only offering a select number of colors, even though there is a ton of colors, gorgeous colors. One thing you want to keep in mind is that you kind of want to look at how many providers offer the various colors. So to keep things simple, I've opted to mainly just offer white and black, athletic heather, and dark gray heather. For the holidays, I've also introduced like a heather red. And as you can see, there's 23 providers for the black and white. There's 14 providers for the two grays. There is only 6 providers for the heather red, which is a little bit of a risk. But like if I scroll down here, and you have this beautiful heather olive, which I'm sure is a gorgeous color, but there's only 3 providers that offer it. So in the case of an out of stock from Monster Digital, it will be harder to find a replacement for that exact item if there's only 3 providers. So it's up to you. You know, I chose to keep things kind of more simple, but that is something to keep in mind. So let's click out of here and let's get our t-shirt designed. So you go to the provider, we're going to do the Monster Digital, and we're going to click here on this green button, Start Designing. Okay, and here's our t-shirt blank. If you look to the lower right-hand corner, you can see the print file requirements for the t-shirt. It says JPEG, PNG, and SVG files are supported. Here's the maximum file size. Here's the print area size, 4,500 by 5,100 pixels, and that, if I mouse over that, you'll see that's the print area size for the large, which is what we designed for. They actually do scale it. They do, I think it's called image scaling or something like that, where on smaller t-shirts, they'll print it slightly smaller to try and keep in proportion with a larger or smaller t-shirt. So that's the print area size for the large, and here's the maximum resolution. Okay, so let's add our artwork in. So I'm going to add a design from my device. Here's my downloads file. Here is the Wild Child Sunflower t-shirt that we created in Canva. So I'll hit open. Okay, and boom, there it is. This little dot here is the center of the t-shirt, center of the design. Sorry, it's the center of the design. And if, kind of like Canva, if I wiggle it back and forth, I can see the crosshairs and I know that it's right in the center of the t-shirt. Also, if I slide this up and down, you can see there is a margin from the bottom of the collar to where the edge of the printable area is. And I like to take, let's just take this all the way up to the edge, try and keep it in the center. Okay, and then I'm gonna look at the edges of the collar, and while I'm doing this, what I like to do is try and keep an eye on the mock-ups that I created and how big did I make this on this mock-up, because the mock-ups are what your customers are going to see in your listings, and you have to make sure that Printify is going to print the same size on the t-shirts as you're showing on your mock-ups. That's why I like to create the mock-ups first. This looks pretty close to me for now, and let's do a preview. Okay, and they'll offer up some mock-ups so that you can see what that is actually going to look like on your shirt, and you can compare it to your mock-up. So I'll always go back and forth. And I like to refer to several of the mock-ups because they do look different on different angles, on different people, things like that. I feel like this is very close to this size. This might need to come down a little bit, but I think it's real close. Okay, I just like to click around and look at all of them. As you can see, this is an oversized t-shirt and the image was scaled up. Okay, so if that looks good, I'm going to click back to edit. And if you recall, in our mock-ups, we're going to do white, black, and the heather gray. So to add those to this design file, you click up here at prices and variants. You see here's the white is checked, and we're going to go down, we're going to add black. And dark gray heather. And those are the ones we're going to add, and we hit update. And you'll see they have been added here. Okay, so this becomes the default design. If I click to the black, I can preview it here. And I can click in the gray and preview it again. And you can click in and see the mock-ups as well. If this doesn't look right, so for example, if you're creating a design that has maybe white text or black text, obviously that's not going to work on a black text wouldn't work on a black t-shirt. So you can create the same art file with different colored text, and here, if you click here, you can make a specific design for that t-shirt and upload a separate file just for that color, and they'll print that instead of the default design that you've created. Okay, so when you're happy with that, we're going to click Save Product. And here it is, what we've created. You can see the three colors, the white, the black, and the dark gray. And they give you a generic description for that t-shirt. You can use some of that. You can also add your own description. This title here, I'm going to change, and this is for, you can have one title in Printify, and then you can change the title, like say in Etsy, to include all your SEO and keywords and things. But in order, as you create a lot of products in Printify, you're going to want a title that is easy to find. Okay, so I'm going to call this BC 3001 for the t-shirt dash child sunflower. That way I know it's this product and this artwork. All right, if we scroll down, you can see that here are all of the sizes that are offered, and here are the costs. So you can see from small to extra large, the cost is $10.30, and then it's a little bit more for 2X and a little bit more for 3X. So if you're going to edit the price, so I'm going to say these t-shirts are going to be one price. So if we edit the price and we make it say $24.99, apply. And the 2XL, let's make $1 more. And the 3XL, $1 more than that. Okay. This profit here is your profit, but it doesn't have the shipping included. So you have to keep that in mind, that there will also be shipping taken out of this purchase here. Product visibility in the store. You can have, if you want to push it to your Etsy or Shopify store, but you're not ready to have it listed right away, you can click checkbox hide in store and it won't be active right away. Here you can choose the variant visibility, like show all variants as available for purchase, regardless of stock status. So I like to actually have that checked for these really popular t-shirts that have a lot of different providers, because if the stock status goes out for one, the chances are really good that I can get it through another person. So I don't necessarily want to miss out on a sale and have it not listed in my store, because even if Monster Digital, say, goes out of stock, I can still find another provider to fulfill that order. So that's the one I like to choose. There are a couple other options. Show in-stock variants as available and out of stock as sold out. And you can also only show in-stock variants and hide any out-of-stock variants. So it's up to you. And then here is the shipping profile. I don't have any shipping profiles set up in my Etsy store yet, my mock-up Etsy store. So here it would create a new shipping profile. If I had some set up, there would be a drop down. So I create a separate shipping profile for each type of item, because they all have different prices that go with that item. So t-shirts are generally, t-shirts will be one cost, mugs will cost a different amount, etc. So you would either create a new shipping profile or select one that you've already created in your Shopify or Etsy store. And when you're happy with that, right now we're just going to save this as a draft, and we're going to move on to the next item. Okay, so in this video, let's create a mug. And mugs are a great gift item. You don't have to worry about sizes and whatnot. So let's create a mug. I'm going to go in the catalog here. It's right at the top of Home and Living. So we'll click into that. And as you can see, they have a ton of different drinkware options. I'm going to actually filter this by fulfillment location, because I want to make sure it's the United States. So that checked. Oops, checked. There we go. So then I know that all of these are in the US. And I'm looking for a white ceramic mug. I'm going to do this 11-ounce white ceramic mug from District Photo. Okay. And you can read the specifications here. Here is District Photo. Here are the costs. Regular without Printify Premium is $4.63. With Printify Premium is $3.56. Shipping is $4.99. It is a wraparound print, which I'll show you. Very quick production time right now. Details here, let's see. $4.99 to ship the first mug, $3.09 to ship the second mug. Mugs are a little expensive to ship. They require extra cushioning so they don't break. So let's start designing. Here is the mug template. You can see the print area size here as 2475 by 1155 at 300 DPI. There's an outer, so you want your artwork to fill this whole dark black outer rectangle. However, the inner part here with the dashed lines is the safe zone. So you want your artwork to extend into, if you've got a full wraparound, for example, which I'll show you, you want it to extend into the gray area. Otherwise the cropping might look a little bit funny, but you don't want anything important in that dark gray area because it may get like clipped off a little bit. So let's, I actually don't need to upload, but if you did, upload it from my device here. I have already uploaded the wild child design. So let's click on that from our t-shirt. So as you can see, it's a little bit bigger possibly than we need, but not too much. And these here, this dotted line, as you can see, will be the center of the side, and this is like the other orientation. So what I like to start off with is lining the center of my design up. Got a little bit bigger. Center of my design up with the center of that line. That's about right. I think I'm going to maximize that a little bit more. There we go. Okay, and just like we did with the t-shirt, you can hit preview. And let's click into like the right view. That looks pretty good. There's some lifestyle photos. Unlike the t-shirt mock-ups, these lifestyle photos I think are really great, and I'm totally happy to use these right out of Printify. Although there are also some really good mock-ups that you can find in Etsy as well, especially if you're stylizing, especially if you're styling for like a Christmas like this is showing. Okay, that looks really good to me. Depending on how your artwork is, you may find that you need to like scooch this out a little bit towards the outer side in order to make it look centered on that profile view. So here, this is all set up. I want one exactly like this on the other side. So they have, I believe this is it, a duplicate function. So it's going to create one exactly like that. And I'm going to put it approximately here. Now I want these to be exactly the same height. So if I click on this and I look here over here to the right at position top here, you can see it's 3.62. So I want this one to be at 3.62, and it is. But if it was down here, say a little bit drifted, I can just highlight that and put 3.62, hit return, and it'll position it exactly where I need it. So I'm going to make that centered. Making sure my top position stayed the same. And let's preview. So let's click this. That shows you both sides of it. Let's look at the left-hand side. That looks good. So that's all there is to that type of artwork. So before I exit out of this, I want to show you what it looks like to do, maybe if you're an abstract artist or a watercolor artist, what the wraparound view looks like. So we're just going to delete these for now. And I've uploaded one of my watercolors. And we're going to load it in here. As you can see, the aspect ratio is not correct because it's a square watercolor. I like to keep an eye on this resolution. So it's 662 dpi, and I don't want to go lower than 300. So what I can just do is drag this out. And see how that looks. And here I'm still above 300 dpi, and then I can kind of position this around where I like it. Okay, and then if I hit preview, it'll show you what the wraparound looks like. So if you're a fine artist or abstract artist, and you want this type of an art mug, you could do a series like this, and I think they look really cool and make great gifts as well. So when you're happy with your design, again, you're going to click Save Product. Okay, and you're going to change your title, product description, and there is only one variant, so you don't have to worry about that. Again, you can edit the price if you like, and that's it. So join me in the next video and we'll create a kitchen tea towel together. Okay, so let's create a kitchen tea towel. Go up to the catalog and we'll go to towels. And like everything else, they have a bunch of great options, from like the flour sack kind of cotton tea towel. They have beach towels, all kinds of stuff to investigate here as well. We're going to select this soft tea towel. This is not the flour sack type of towel. This is actually thicker and more absorbent. So this is also from District Photo. And if so here are the details about the tea towel. So you can see it's kind of a little bit of a waffle weave, but it's a nice big size. It can do an all over print and it is super absorbent, which is why I like it. So let's click down here, just take a look at the price quick. Regular without premium is $8.58. With premium, it's only $6.61. And shipping on the first item is $4.50, and additional items are $3.40 in the US. So let's start designing. I'm going to show you actually two different ways to do this, one in Canva and one in Photoshop. So with this, I'm going to also introduce you to here. This is a download. You can download the design template. The mug also has this option. We didn't go through that. I don't really find that I need to use it with the mugs, but it's kind of handy with this tea towel template. So you click here to download the design template, and it will create a zip file in your downloads folder. You need to double click that to expand it. And if I open this up, you'll see that it creates the template in an Illustrator file as well as a Photoshop file. So I am going to open the Photoshop file. So here we are in Photoshop, and this is what the template file looks like. As you can see, it has all of these layers over here are on. This is the guide layer that we're looking at on top. The size that you're going to want is 16 by 25. However, the resolution only needs to be 200 dpi. The outer red rectangle is the full size that you're going to need. That's the full 16 by 25 inch size. The bleed area here, this lighter gray, it will be cropped out in the production process. Inside the dark black line is your print area. And then inside the dotted green line is your safe zone. Okay. The reason I wanted to show you this part in Photoshop is that I have a repeating pattern that I've created, and I want to fill the entire side of this with the repeating pattern. So if you're familiar with Photoshop, or even if you're not, it's pretty easy to use this template guide. For now, I'm going to turn this guide layer off, and I'm going to click into the Your Design. I'm also going to turn off the background because I don't want to export the background when I export the rest of the file. So if I click the layer and activate the layer file, what I want to do is I'm going to use the paint bucket to fill this area, this entire area, with my pattern. So I'm going to activate the paint bucket by hitting G for the shortcut. And then I'm going to go up here, and instead of filling with the foreground color, I'm going to select pattern. And there's a drop down here, and I can see that my pattern that I want is selected. It's actually in here. It's already selected. And I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to click to fill. And that is the pattern. And then you can activate reactivate the layer that is the guide layer and just kind of take a look at, where things are going to be cut off in your design and see if this is going to work for you or not. You can adjust your artwork accordingly. This looks fine to me since it's just a repeating pattern. And then I'm going to export it as a PNG. So I'm going to turn off the guide layer. I made sure that the background layer was turned off. I'm going to go up to File, Export, and Quick Export as a PNG. And I'm going to put it here at Desktop, and I'm going to call it Tea Towel. The name of this is Retro Ranunculus. And save. And that's all there is to doing this in Photoshop. I really like this really easy to use design template. If you don't want to use Photoshop and you'd rather use Canva, let's hop over to Canva and I'll show you how simple it is to do it there as well. So here we are in Canva, and I simply took and created a file that was a 16 by 25 inches, and you could throw a repeat pattern in here if you wanted to, but instead what I did was I uploaded my leopard sunflower without the words, and I just placed it around like this, and till it got to kind of how I wanted it. And like everything else, you just share and download as a PNG. And we'll show you how this design looks on the tea towel as well. Okay, so now we're back into Printify, and we're in the design screen for the tea towel. And we're going to upload these two designs that we just created. So here's the Retro Ranunculus. And that looks pretty good. And then we're going to hit the preview. And let's see what it looks like in some of the lifestyle shots. So I really love these lifestyle shots. It really gives you an idea of the scale and how it's really going to look in an actual setting. So as with the mugs, I think these mock-ups are great. It saves you from doing a lot of fiddly work in trying to do a mock-up of a piece of fabric in Photoshop. And I totally think it's fine to just use the ones that Printify offers us to keep things really simple. Okay, so let's go back here and let's see. We're just gonna hit the little trash can here, and let's see. Okay, so let's upload the leopard sunflower. That's in the. I think this is the one. Yes. Okay. Let's see what this one looks like. This is the one that we created in Canva. Okay, and let's do a preview. So like I was saying, it really gives you an idea of scale, and now that I see how this looks on the tea towel itself, I think I would probably scale those sunflowers down a little bit so that you could see more of them when, or more of each sunflower when the file, so you can see more of each sunflower when the towel is folded. It looks pretty good there, but so you can just use these previews to see how you like your tea towel. And when you are happy with it, You're going to click Save Product. And again, change your description so it's something that you can find. Edit your description. Here's the pricing. And then if you have a shipping profile set up, you can select that as well. And hit Save as Draft. So that's it for the tea towel. And join me in the next video and we'll create our last product, which is a sticker. Okay, here we are, and let's create our last item, which is going to be a sticker. So back to the catalog drop down, and we're going to go all the way over here to magnets and stickers. There's several options here. We are going to look at the Kiss Cut stickers. Some people confuse Kiss Cut versus die cut, and they also offer the die cut. In the die cut sticker, the edges are actually cut out, and this is created from a heavier like vinyl, whereas when you get this sticker, the sticker is cut out, but the presentation you'll actually have the rectangle. So like if it's a 2x2, you'll actually have a 2x2 piece of material, and then the sticker itself will be cut out and when you peel it off. And that'll make more sense in just a minute. So we're going to click into the Kiss Cut stickers. They are available in a white or a transparent background, and they come in 4 sizes: 2x2, 3, 4, and 6-inch square. The prices seem really good to me, $1.39 or $1.07 with Printify Premium. Shipping is $3.99 for the first sticker, but if you click in here, you'll see that each additional shipping item is only 9 cents. So if you can work some bundles in there, then you can maximize people's shipping, which is awesome. So let's start designing. There's a couple things you want to keep in mind when you're designing stickers. Let's start. So it starts off with a 2x2 sticker default. Over here you can see the print area size is, and that's for the 2x2, is 559 by 559 at 300 dpi. So let's just load in something we already have in our library. So that will be our Wild Child Sunflower again. And I like to maximize the size on this all the way to the edge of that black. And I'm going to center it just like that. So then you can do a preview. So this is the preview with the white background applied. I like to use the white background, that way I always know that my colors are going to pop off. You can choose a transparent, but you have to be careful when you are thinking of maybe applying a transparent backed sticker to black or some kind of a dark background, because it won't show quite as well. So things that I want to point out here, you can see that the wild and the child are connected to the sunflower, and there are more than 2 connection points. This is really solid here and definitely very solid down here. If your elements are too far away in your design, then there's a possibility of them being cut out and separated from the main design. Now, you may want that, like if you wanted 4 different things in the different corners and people to have 4 different stickers that kind of coordinated, that works out really well. And I'm going to show you an example of that. So let's go back to the edit. And before I show you that example, I'm going to show you how to, now that we've designed the 2x2, you can click on the prices and variants, and all you have to do is check on all the sizes that you want. If you wanted to do them in all the sizes, you just do that, click there. If you want to do them in all the sizes, you just click and hit update, and you'll see it has added them all. And the nice part about it is that you don't really have to rescale it. It rescales it for you. So if I click 2x2, 4x4, you can see that the artwork has been automatically scaled up for each of the designs for you. So now let me show you an example of a design where the elements are a little bit too far away. So I'm going to hit the trash can there, and I've added a design in the library here. It's Merry and Bright. I'm going to make it big. Okay, and let's hit preview. So as you can see here, you can easily see where the cut lines are going to be on this sticker, and you can see that the Merry and is going to be separated from the Bright and the mountains, which for this design is probably not what you want. So you're going to, I always make it a practice to preview these stickers. It's really easy to see where the cut lines are going to be and if it's where you expect them to be. Okay, and when you like it, if you like it, you're going to save the product. You get a bunch of different kinds of mock-ups there. Again, you're going to name it. You can change your prices here and create your shipping profile. And we'll save this as a draft. There we go. So now that we have our 4 items created, in the next video, we're going to talk about how to publish those to our Etsy or Shopify stores. So now that your products have been created in Printify, it's time to publish them to your store. So let's do that now. Okay, so here we are again on the My Products page in Printify. And as you can see, we have all these little items that we've created together, and they say unpublished. I was playing around with the sunflower leopard tea towel, so that you can see it has unpublished changes. One thing I want to mention is if you have 2 stores set up like I do here, I have an Etsy store and I also connected my Shopify store. If you have them both, you can only work in one at a time. So this one has been highlighted as we've been adding these products. So these all exist in the Etsy store. And if I want to offer the same products that I'm offering in my Etsy store on my website, I can copy them over to my Shopify store by clicking on these 3 buttons. And from here I can publish, see in store, I can do all these things, but what I want to do here now is copy to. So I'm going to copy it over to my Shopify store, and here they say, due to sales channel variations, some details might be lost. Copying products to a different store can take up to 20 minutes. In the meantime, feel free to continue using Printify. All right, so I'm just going to hit got it, and I'm going to select my Shopify site to copy to and hit copy products. And that was very fast. The product has been copied. So let's turn our focus back to the Etsy store, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to publish. The way I like to do it, I like to click in. And one thing I wanted to show you here is I'm going to publish this Wild Child Sunflower mug to Etsy. And the mugs have so many mock-ups that it's going to ask you to choose 10, because you can see the little warning up here. Etsy allows only between 1 and 10 mock-ups. So I'm just going to quickly look through here. This one is Halloween. I think I'll uncheck that. And I don't think this red and blue really goes with the orange mug there, so I'm going to uncheck that. And as you can see, once we did that, it freed it up to publish. So all you have to do to push it to Etsy then is hit publish. And here you'll see it's publishing. And if I hit refresh, it'll say hidden here, which means it's published, but it is hidden on Etsy because I indicated to hide it and save it as a draft instead of go active right away. So let's hop over to Etsy and see where that ended up. So here we are on the listings page, and this is an active listing, but if I look over here, you can see there's one sitting in drafts. So let's take a look at the drafts, and there is our mug. After you publish your item as a draft, you're going to want to go in and optimize that listing before making it active. And there are some settings that I'd like to go over with you that are specifically relevant to Etsy. Okay, so here we are in our draft listing. And as you can see, all of the Printify mockups have been pushed into the listing, and they're all here. This is that sunflower tea towel. And I just wanted to point out, Etsy lets you do 10, I believe there's our 10 photos, and they encourage you to use as many as you can. You can edit and crop these. And if you've never had an Etsy listing, or this is your first time using Etsy, then you can crop, and you can get rid of some of these. Sometimes some of the Printify mockups are like seasonal, and it doesn't maybe really apply to your listing. You can always just hit the trash can and get rid of some of those. It also will offer up a thumbnail, so this is the primary one, and you can, if you want a different one, you just take the one that you want and slide it over, and then that one becomes the primary. You can also add a photo. So like for our t-shirts, when we did all those beautiful mock-ups, you just click add a photo here and you find it on your desktop and add it that way. You can adjust the thumbnail if you like. I think that looks pretty good just the way it is. And so that's the photos. And then let's scroll down here. Here's where obviously you would put the title. We're not going to talk about optimizing your Etsy title for like SEO and things like that. That's a whole different video, but that's important to do so that you get found correctly. So this section right here is very important when you're using print on demand. So this is the Who Made It section, and normally if you're doing a handcrafted item it would be I did, but this is where you're going to select another company or person. It is a finished product made to order. You're going to select the category, and if sometimes it pops in here, sometimes you just have to search for it. We're going to go down here, and you can select colors and whatnot. I do like to usually do material here, so like cotton microfiber. If it applies to an occasion or a holiday, you can select that. I like to do manual renewals until I know if something is going to be selling well. It is a physical item, so you can leave that. I would suggest editing the description to being something a little bit more friendly and descriptive, something in your voice that fits your brand. Here's the next section that's only specific to print on demand. So because somebody else is making it, you need to add a new production partner. So I'm going to click on that. And what I like to do is we're going to say Printify. You can choose whether or not to show this name to the buyers, and I usually opt to turn it off. Descriptive title, this will appear. So this descriptive title, instead of actually showing the name of the production partner, you can just say what they suggest here, a print shop. I like to put the location of where the item is being produced. And so this is from District Photo, and I looked up the address for District Photo, and I found out that it is actually in Beltsville, Maryland. So let's hop back over here. Beltsville, Maryland, there it is. And about the production partner, help buyers understand what this partner does for you. And they print my tea towels for me. You could also, if you're doing a lot of different things, you could say they print my items for me. Why are you working with this partner? I don't have the technical ability or equipment to make it myself. What is your role in the design process? I design everything myself. And what is this partner's role in the production process? They do everything for me. And then save that partner. And we're going to check that for the production partner, and then we can continue on. Of course, here's the tags area. You definitely need to use all 13 tags if you're going to maximize your SEO. As we go by here, this is this SKU you don't want to mess with, because this is what tells Printify exactly which item in your Printify catalog is connected to this listing. If we come down here, you can see that create a new shipping profile was checked when we created this listing, and here is what it would look like. This is the profile that it came up with. You can edit this. So if you wanted this to be your soft tea towel profile and not just for this design, you can just change it and edit it. Here it already puts in what the origin zip code is. If you want to let more or less processing time, you can change this here. The shipping, this came right off of the Printify provider's schedule, what they charge for shipping. And then I only ship to the United States personally, but if you ship to other countries, you can edit and change all of these. So I am actually going to remove these so that I'm only shipping to the US. Save that profile. And lastly, I wanted to show you this returns and exchanges area. So this is a simple starter policy which says the buyer can return or exchange the item, must return within 30 days, responsible for return shipping costs and any kind of loss in value. You can apply that policy or you can create a new one. Now with print on demand products, a lot of, they are printed to order. A lot of times, so they're customized, and you may not want to accept returns or exchanges, which is my preference for my print-on-demand items. So I turn this off. Here, I accept exchanges. No. It will have a thing on there. Let's see if it'll pop up. Save and apply. Yeah, here it is. It does say the buyer can contact seller about any issues. So in case there was a mix-up or they missed something in quality control and the print is wrong, the quality of it is not up to par, then they can contact you. But just exchanges for wrong sizes or things like that, that's why I'm putting no returns or exchanges here. Okay, and when you're happy with everything, you just hit save and continue. Okay, so lastly, let's hop from our Etsy store over to our Shopify store on Printify. And here you can see the tea towel that we moved over from our Etsy store and copied over to this Shopify area. And I just wanted to show you, there's a couple things in the Shopify part that are just a little bit different. Basically, it's the same process. The mock-ups are the same. Got your title and your description. This is nice. It adds in tags for you. And you can add more tags for your Shopify SEO. You can edit the price here. I'm going to hide in the store. And down here is something nice that's a little bit different. You can actually add this to a collection that you've already predefined in Shopify. So here, I created a collection called Artisan Kitchen Tea Towels. So I'm just going to add there. And then you hit publish. And now you can see that it is hidden. It's been published. So let's hop over to our Shopify store and take a look at where it appears there. And here we are in Shopify. As you can see, our tea towel came over, and we can just click in here. You can see the mock-ups are here. You can edit this just like you would any other item on your Shopify site. I'm going to come over here, hit active, pick a sales channel. Whoops. And all you do is hit save. And your item is active and ready to go. So in this little bonus lesson, I just want to chat a little bit about Printify Premium and some things you might want to take into consideration when deciding whether or not you want to sign up for this. So before you sign up, you'll see this banner here. Get up to 20% discount on all products with Printify Premium, and get it now. So we're just going to click into that. And here's a page on Printify which gives you some more detail about what this subscription is all about. And one thing that's important to note is that you get up to 20%. That's up to. It's not 20%, and not all products are available for the discount. The cost is, if you want to pay monthly, it's $29 a month. Or you can do the yearly. If you're a volume seller and you know that you're going to be able to take advantage of this, you can do the yearly, which is $24.99 a month. And if we scroll down, you'll see some discount examples that they give and what kind of savings you expect to get if you have the subscription. So for example, on this tote bag, the regular price is $8.21. The premium price is $6.32, and you get a savings of $1.89. So depending on the products that you sell, you kind of have to look at what your savings would be and how many things you're selling per month to see if you could justify the $29 price per month. So let's say you're selling this mug right here. For every mug that you sell, if you had the Printify Premium, you'd be saving $1.71 over the regular price. So if you're paying $29 a month divided by $1.71, you'd need to sell about 17 mugs a month in order for your sales to justify the subscription price. So when I started, obviously my sales didn't really justify the price of Printify Premium either, but I decided to invest in it anyway, and that's kind of exactly the way I looked at it. I looked at it as an investment. And when I was looking at my competitors' pricing on Etsy, I realized that I would need to be a Printify Premium subscriber in order for me to be competitive. And that's the reason I decided to sign up for it right away. So let's scroll down here. And you can see what they're kind of giving you a little chart here, what your yearly savings could possibly be, depending on your average purchase volume. So you can take a look at that. Another thing you can consider is that you can buy it for a month and then turn it off. So if you're going to want to be buying some samples, you could consider that, because they do offer a $29 free credit on your next sample order. So you could try it out for a month and see how it goes, and then you actually get $29 worth of product in return. So eventually that doesn't cost you anything to give it a try. You might also consider signing up for Printify Premium on months that you know you're going to experience like maybe a seasonal spike. So if you know you're really busy in the fourth quarter from October to December, then you could subscribe to Printify Premium for those months as well. So that's really all I wanted to chat about and make you aware of on Printify Premium. You can decide what kind of products that you want to offer. You can click here to see the discounts that are offered on certain products and decide for yourself if Printify Premium is right for you. Thank you for enrolling in my class today. I hope you feel ready and excited to begin your print-on-demand journey with Printify. I can't wait to see what you create. Feel free to comment below in the class discussion if you have any questions or comments about what I've covered here today. And you can follow me on Instagram at carrie.barnes.art. If you found the class valuable, be sure to follow me here and you'll be notified when I launch my next class. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.